So I guess while I'm sitting here, I will do a review. The Philip DeFranco Movie Club did a review on the movie Bully. And even though I'm late for that, I'm gonna do it anyways, because I think it's a really important documentary. So anyways, I think I have kind of a bias on this, because I was bullied, in middle school, and I was only bullied on the bus. Because my school was had a very strict zero tolerance policy for people who did things like that, and it was really easy to get away with on the bus because there was only a bus driver, and the bus driver was driving, couldn't really stand up and say anything or even hear everything that was going on. So when I was in, I want to say 5th grade, I started getting made fun of for having a lot of acne. I had very crooked teeth, very poor eyesight, so I got the acne braces and glasses combo in middle school. And I started hitting puberty before a lot of other people in my grade because I was roughly a year older than everyone. Because my grade was made up of mostly people born in 1993, but I was born in 1992 because I was born in the South, and then I moved to New York, and there's an age difference between those two schools, district-wise. But anyways, so, I was getting picked on for all of that by mostly boys that were on my bus, and it sucked. It was awful. They didn't tease me about it. They tortured me about it. They would sit behind me and say all these really rude things to me, and I was super sensitive. They would call me Proactiv, and they would call me Clearasil, and any other name of products meant to cure that. They would tell me I was really dirty and I should go wash my face, because I had hair around my upper lip and had really bushy eyebrows. Guys would make fun of me for that, for looking like a boy, and I would come home crying a lot because I was just really, really upset that they would just tear me down for something that I could not help. And it was just awful. And they would do it every day. They would sit behind me, they would sit next to me, they would start saying all these mean things to me. They would make jokes that someone had a crush on me, which was not true, just to see my reaction. And they would throw stuff at me. They wouldn't let me sit next to them on the bus, and I was the last stop, so the bus was full when I got on. They would push me out of the seats. They would, one boy brought in coupons for acne products and gave them to me. Just little things to make me slowly hate myself. And it got to the point where I no longer felt comfortable on the bus because every day they would make me cry. Every single day. And at first my mom was like, "You're way too sensitive, you need to grow a thicker skin, and just ignore them." But I don't believe in that. I don't believe it's the victim's fault and they need to change. I do believe it's the bully's fault. Especially at that age. I was 10 or 12 or 11. I was I was too young to realize that they're the ones with the problem, not me. So it was really interesting watching this film. Because, like, the things Alex went through, like, I went through, especially with the whole bus thing, like, you know, teachers don't get to see you on the bus, school officials don't get to see you on the bus. The bus is a scary place. And I wasn't the only one getting attacked on the bus. And if you fast forward to 8th grade, there was a 6th grader who sat in the back of the bus, and, like, that was not okay. So, one of the boys that originally used to make fun of me was telling him to move, and, you know, I stood up for him, and I got slapped across the face, which is the one and only time I've ever been slapped, and it was so, like, I just, like, sat down because I didn't know what to do, and everyone on the bus saw it, and no one did anything. Like, no one stood up for me, no one said anything, and people kept reminding me of it throughout high school. They were like, remember that time Dylan slapped you on the bus? And it's like, thanks for reminding me of that one time I stood up to a bully and I got attacked. And I got him suspended because of it. And the other boys on the bus, I got them kicked off the bus. And it was really nice that, like, the school listened to me and heard what I had to say, because I shouldn't have to be punished by being driven to school. Because I didn't have a problem with anyone else on the bus. It was like 3 people whose job it was just to yell things from the back to the front of the bus so everyone could hear about how my face looked. And it made me extremely insecure to this day. I'm 20 years old, and every single day I wake up and think, like, how can I change my face today? So that was really upsetting to see in the documentary when the school officials heard about what was going on on the bus to this boy Alex, and they were just like, "Oh, well, we've been on the bus, and, you know, those kids are great." Of course they were. A freaking vice principal was on the bus. They're not gonna act like animals when that's happening, you know. And it's really, like, sad to see people say, like, to their kids, you need to grow a thicker skin, because when you stand up to bullies, they can get worse. They can, especially if you stand up to them and no one does anything, or they don't change, they just get worse because they realize they can cross the line because they are jerks. Like, there's no other way to put it. You know, they're people that are going to be failures in life if they don't change, and they're people that just don't get anywhere. And it's really sad, but I will say that everyone who has ever bullied me currently is going nowhere in their life. They're loser drug addicts who just never did anything. Who were just living at home, doing nothing at all. So, you know, there's me. And, you know, I'm getting and going further than they're ever gonna go. And if that gives you some comfort in knowing that, I think it's pretty good advice. There's a moment in the film where this boy is getting bullied in, like, the recess yard, and the same vice principal tells them, the bully and the victim, to shake hands, and the victim clearly doesn't want to do it, and she tells him that he is just as bad as the bully by not doing that. And it's like, you don't want to shake hands with the dick who's been doing that to you. And they don't get it. Either A, she was never bullied, or B, I don't even know what B could be. Like, she just never had to have been bullied. There's a difference between being teased and being scared to come to school, or not wanting to come to school because you were getting made fun of so much. Because I've been teased. You know, like, someone has said things about, like, how my hair looks, or how I dress, and just, like, I don't care. Like, doesn't matter to me. And bullied, like, they try every single day to tear you down. And it doesn't make sense. And just, you know, a scene like that in this documentary, like, had nothing to do with something in my life that, like, made me, you know, really upset, because my school was really good about dealing with that, at least for me. but it was just, upsetting to like see the truth in that. This documentary also shows like what this does to kids. You see them get really upset when they're told what other students think of them. You see them. One girl brings a gun on the bus to threaten the boy who's bullying her because she doesn't want to deal with it anymore. And she's a little kid. She's like 14, 13, and hasn't developed like the idea that bullies suck. I mean, you shouldn't threaten them with a gun, but like it was really upsetting to see that the school was, wasn't listening to her side of the story. It's just like, oh, she was holding all these kids hostage on the bus with a gun. But she felt she was so not safe and uncomfortable on that bus that she needed to take drastic measures. And that is really sad. I've heard people say that bullying doesn't really exist. It's just a character builder. No, it does. People suck. People will, yeah, they do that because they're awful. Things that have to change. Parents, I think, are a lot to blame for why kids become bullies. They put ideas into their head, and it was really obvious seeing from the way I was treated that it could have been prevented if these kids weren't taught to like tear down someone because of their appearance. I think schools need to teach people a lot better. Just like have a class on like ways to socially interact with people, how to act at a, do this class at like a young age, stand up for people. Even though I was slapped the first time I did it, I still will continue to do it because I can't stand it. Seeing people make fun of other people in order to get the reaction of upsetness or anger out of them. Like, that is just not okay. It's really upsetting to see all these kids afraid to go to school, because they feel so hopeless. And the only thing I really got out of bullying was I became more self-conscious and self-aware and fearful, really, of just like how I look and how people will perceive me, which is stupid. I shouldn't care what my face looks like because I was born with it. Like, how am I supposed to change that? It's one thing if like they were making fun of like something I did and it's just like, well, I like doing that. But this is my face, like, that you slapped. Like, I don't, crazy. Just seeing this, like, brought out all those memories. And I really think this documentary should be, like, shown in schools. I think it will help people become more self-aware of, like, what a bully is and acts like, and how they make the students that they're making fun of feel. Because I think a lot of people think that people who get bullied aren't actually bullied, or they're thinking too hard. But, it's a whole different world. It's a really sucky, scary place, and this was a really great documentary, and pulling that out and showing it, and I'm really glad I watched it, even though it kind of brought back some memories that I really don't enjoy. So I definitely recommend it if you plan on having children one day, or you plan on working in education or anything. Or actually, you know what? Anyone watch this. It was great. I loved it. And definitely check it out.